Hey guys, and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Down South. Today we're going to be looking at Krish Govender's True Draco deck. Now Krish is one of the top players in Joburg, so when I reached out for him for this list, he was more than happy to provide it for me, so thanks Krish for the list, and we're going to get into this really spicy, interesting True Draco deck. So let's get into it. Starting off, we got 3 Masterpiece, which is pretty standard. A lot of people play 2, but I can understand playing 3 just to get to your main boss monster of the deck. I mean, that's the reason you play True Draco.deck, so you may as well use it. Then the 1 Ignis and the 2 Majesty Maiden. 2 Majesty Maiden, obviously, to just balance against the 3 Masterpiece. And then 3 Rocky Boy. Man, oh man, Rocky Boy. What are your thoughts on Rocky Boy? Give me some comments in the comment section below, just so I can have a feeling of exactly how you feel about a mono auto. Should he get banned? Should he get limited? How do you feel about Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Comment down below. So that rounds up the monster lineup. It's pretty simple and basic. And then moving on, we've got the 1 Raigeki for board wipes, because it's Raigeki, you may as well. You'll notice that that's kind of a staple in South African decks, this idea of like running Raigeki or running Dark Hole. The reason for this is because board wipes are really good against Rogue. And there's a lot of Rogue running around in South Africa, so you got to be prepared for that. And then, man, oh man, did we have draw cards. We got 2 Potted Desires, because Potted Desires is a neg 9. The 3 Carded Demise, and the 3 Potted Duality, because it's a True Draco deck, so why not? You'll notice, obviously, no hand traps here, because Demise Draco. And then the 3 Terraformings for the diagrams. And then, man, oh man, would you look at that Scapegoat Spice. I looked at this list and I'm like, so you basically took a True Draco deck and a Trickstar deck and mashed all the good things about it together. This is the first time I've seen Scapegoat in a True Draco deck. Most True Draco decks opt to rather play the Monarch's Erupt instead with no extra deck, just to have the 4 skill drains instead. But this is a really interesting approach I think Krish has taken here. The idea of using Scapegoat to be able to make big link monsters that can push through, especially since you're only playing, 9 monsters? 3 of which are just Rocky Boys who don't really do much. I think Scapegoat's a really, really interesting pick here. So props to Krish for playing one of the first Extra Deck True Draco decks that I've actually seen recently. And then, more standardly, we have 3 Heritage and 3 Disciples, just because, you know, you want True Draco spell and traps that do stuff to your opponent's cards, and the 1 Monarch Stormforth, as well as the 3 Diagram to go along with the Terraformings. Then, getting into the traps, we have the 1 True King's Return. I feel like this could probably go to 2 or something in the next ban list. And then maybe hitting Masterpiece to 1. Like, I've always thought hitting Masterpiece to 1 is probably the best way to go about sort of crippling this deck to some extent. So the 1 True King Return and the 3 Apocalypse. Again, we're doing this because we want more spells and traps that we can tribute off that actually do things to our opponent's boards. The 1 Barbarial Order. I bet you'll be top decking that like anybody's business, Krish, just like Marcello Barberi, because Imperial Order is good, especially with Pendulum running around as rampant as it is. Then the 1 Skill Drain and the 2 spicy Rivalry of Warlords. When I asked Krish about this, he said, well, it just stops stuff. It's just a good generic floodgate. And you know what? It's a continuous trap, so if I need to tribute it off, I can tribute it off. If it's not going to do something for me in the matchup, I contributed it off or started out. It's not really any skill of my nose. So a really, really interesting main deck there, guys. 42 cards with Scapegoat in the main deck. I mean, how crazy is that, right? And then getting into our extra deck, just a huge Link Monster toolbox. We've got 1 Topologic, 1 Borrowload, 1 Soryuja, and 1 Firewall for the Link 4s. This is pretty standard. Krish says he hears 1 card Borrowloads are pretty good. Yeah, Krish, they kind of are. So, I mean, why not play it, right? And then we've got the Ibn and Girsu combo as always. Triple Burst Blast Dragon is interesting. If you don't know what Triple Burst Blast Dragon does, it's a Link 3 that takes 2+ monsters, and it negates spell, trap card, or monster effects when it battles, as well as doing piercing. and it allows you to summon back Link 2 or lowers in your main phase, which is pretty interesting. The idea that it can sort of recycle itself into a good Link 2 that can maybe do something could be interesting. But just the fact that you can make it and then run over Burning Abyss, which again sounds weird, and why am I caring about Burning Abyss again, people? This is South Africa. You never know what you're going to face. So it's just an interesting generic Link 3. Then we have Deco Talker. Then triple Mrs. Radiant along with double Link Spider. Again, these are the main targets you're going to be going for with Scapegoat. Remember, we're South Africa, or sort of more generally Europe. This means we don't have Link Karibo yet, which kind of sucks. Which means that running just a bunch of general targets is good. And oh, by the way, Mrs. Radiant is Earth, and you know what else is Earth in this deck? Oh, it's a Rocky Boy. Rocky Boy is Earth. So, good job, Krish. Just recycling that cancer. Thanks, man. And then we got the Proxy Dragon, the Underclock Taker, to round off the extra deck there. Just general, generic stuff for us to use those 3 fantastic scapegoats to the best of their ability. And then we get to the side deck. Again, pretty interesting here, but fairly standard as far as side decks goes. We have the 3 Ash Blossom. Remember, Demise decks can't really main hand traps because Demise. The 1 Dark Hole for board wipes. The 2 Cosmics, probably for Pendulum or the Mirror Match, ironically enough, as well as the 2 Call by the Graves. Guys, I don't think you realize how ridiculous Call by the Grave is. Like, it doesn't just stop hand traps. It's not just another sort of Rocky Boy. The fact that you can literally use this as basically like a Chalice or a Veiler if they already have one of those monsters in their graveyards. The fact that you can just use it as a DD Crow to banish cards from their graveyards is really, really good. And then we get into more standardly, triple evenly matched. Man, oh man, oh man, I love evenly matched. Personal preference thing here, but I don't think Krish would be playing any less than 3 because it's just so damn good and versatile. Like, let me just completely destroy your board. It's the best. And then some more floodgates rounding off our side deck here in 2 Imperial Iron Wall and 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance. Again, the anti-spells, probably just a floodgate for Pendulums and Imperial Iron Wall. You wouldn't believe the amount of things like Infernoids we have running around in this country. So, you know, just in case. It does, of course, stop and shut off some of the Masterpiece plays, but then I guess you just lean more on the Scapegoat part of your deck, which I think is really, really interesting. So that's it for today's deck profile, guys. Be sure to like it if you like the deck profile. Subscribe to the channel, please. And please leave a comment down below of what you liked about this deck, the kinds of things I could be doing otherwise on the channel, and stuff like that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in again, and I'll see you next time.